certain other things like power stations and
500 feet of a substation,
500 feet from school, 500 feet from any police or fire scene,
traffic accident, medical emergency, fire investigation, public gathering space,
That's
which means a structure or enclosed area or other demarcated space used for the assembly of persons in the open air, including but not limited to amusement parks, stadiums, athletic fields, automotive speedways, aviation fields, which is weird, bandstands, beach enclosures, grandstands, observation platforms, outdoor public swimming pools, outdoor theaters, racetracks, reviewing stands, street festivals, or parade routes. Okay? So, the city attorney, what he says...
Well, wait a minute. So, actually, one of the councilmen asked, well, where can they fly drones?
Yeah.
It was a good question.
Well, it was a good question. This was during the meeting, and he said... Well,
I know where I can't fly them. Where can I fly them?
Yeah, there's at least one park.
Yeah, there's one park
There's at least one park where you can do it.
And then some of the audience said, no, that could be a public gathering place.
Yeah.
And then he was kind of
like... And then, well, he wasn't kind of like, because then what he did was stepped way outside of his role as city attorney during a city council meeting and gave us a 5 to 10 minute lecture about safety and think of the children. And do you really want your child in a park with a drone hovering over them? That's not your job.
The horror.
That's not his job, though.
Right. He's to interpret the law.
It's obvious to me that he had a bias on this, right? He agrees with the ordinance regardless of what the law says. But he said, he was quoted in the Lansing State Journal as saying, we only have 2 restrictions on drones now, 500 feet from a school and 500 feet from a substation.
Right.
I just read you 30 things that aren't included in those 2.
That's how they're spinning it. This isn't a ban on drones, but it's a ban.
Did he read it?
And then it says, what does it say about recreational use?
All use should be for recreational use.
Yeah, but when you do fly a drone that you can't fly, it has to be recreational. Oh, except the exception which allows
if you're authorized by the Well, it doesn't say anything about commercial.
I thought it did.
No.
It doesn't.
No. It says, notwithstanding the prohibition set forth in this section, nothing in this section shall be construed to prohibit any person who is authorized by the FAA to operate an unmanned aircraft in city airspace from conducting such operations in accordance with the terms of such authorization and in accordance with this section. It doesn't say anything about commercial use.
Okay, so but the FAA approves private use of drones.
Everybody's authorized.
Yeah. So I don't know how they can stop this.
Absolutely.
And that's the other point was that the federal government has preempted airspace laws. They're saying they can do it within 400 feet. We can do anything within 400 feet.
That's what the city attorney said.
That's what the city said. And I didn't know where that 400 foot came from. So I asked the drone expert that was in the audience that hated this as well, this ordinance. And he said, that goes to a Supreme Court case where there was some guy growing pot in his property and he had a big fence around and they couldn't see over the fence, so they got a helicopter and flew over and took pictures and stuff. And they arrested him on that, and they fought it saying that he had a right to privacy, and they couldn't do that. And in the court case, they said, well, the government can come within 400 feet of your property to look at stuff. But that restricts the federal government to 400 feet. It doesn't say they can control 400 feet from the ground to 400 feet. It doesn't say that.
And federal law, as much as I don't like the federal government having power, it is absolutely clear that the federal government, it explicitly states the federal government has exclusive sovereignty on airspace. Exclusive sovereignty on airspace, right? It's clear. Now, there have, obviously, you can grow trees, you can put up buildings, things like that. So you do have some control over the airspace on your private property.
That's actually another Supreme Court decision in 1946 said that you have, as a property owner, you have a certain amount of control over a limited height.
Yeah.
What that is, they didn't determine, but you could put up buildings and grow trees and such like that.
But that's more evidence that the city cannot
right.
regulate that area, right?
You would think.
So it passed unanimously.
Yeah. At least one of them said, well, maybe we should table this until we've had more time to listen to the input.
And then a couple others said that might be okay, and then
the guy who was really pushing it
said no.
No, this is fine. We've
said-
spent hours and millions of billions of dollars.
Eight months, right?
And we've looked at every aspect of it except, well, this photography part that we're going to strike.
That's garbage, right? Because that's what they kept saying is, you guys have concerns. We reviewed them with our city attorney.
Right.
Every single concern you mentioned. And then all of the sudden, they decide to strike out one of them because they realize, oh, we didn't review it. Right?
Yeah, and
then the city attorney completely misquotes the law.
And you wondered if you'd ever even read
I'm not sure.
or understood it.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't understand it.
I was not impressed with him, but that's me.
He is new.
Yeah. Is he new
to the city, not to law? No, he's won lots of awards for
defending
the city
municipalities
on workers' comp claims that their employees have made.
A little different than drones.
He's always been on the side of his government.
Yeah. And he still is. It's obvious.
Yeah.
So, boo.
Sad. Yeah, absolutely boo.
So there was some talk about challenging it. And
it's
a $150 ticket if you're caught first time.
First time, yeah.
And then it goes up to third time's $500.
Yeah, and it defines unmanned aircraft as anything that is operated remotely that's not tethered.
Right.
So literally any little helicopter or
your daughter
little
has one.
airplane, that's mine.
Oh.
But yeah, I mean, it's a tiny little helicopter, right?
Yeah.
That if it hits you, it doesn't hurt. Believe me, I'm really bad at flying it. I've hit myself many times.
Why are you hitting yourself? Why are you hitting yourself?
It could do some damage, but the point is, you can't fly that in a public gathering space. We have parks that are just wide open fields that I think may or may not be a public gathering space. I don't know.
Does it have to have a structure there? I'm wondering if they put up a temporary tent. Is that a structure?
It's other demarcated space used for assembly of persons in the open air. Is it demarcated?
I would say that a soccer field would be, even if it had.
Well, that's specifically a athletic park, athletic field, right? Yeah. The one that's interesting to me, and maybe this is referring to something specific, but aviation fields.
Yeah, I mean,
because to me, that seems like the perfect place to fly something.
If it's for if it's for private stuff. If it's
are they
commercial,
talking about the airport?
Yeah, then that's already controlled by the FAA.
Right. Well, we don't have an airport in the city of DeWitt either.
No, well, that's true. Yeah. So I don't know. It's nice to have a drone go up and take pictures of fireworks. On the 4th of July or something, and you won't be able to do that. I guess
I saw some awesome photographs of a festival in town last year that one of these guys took with a drone.
Right.
Which is what caused one of the concerns. Yeah. Someone on the council saw it, and that was concerning.
Right, because one of the speakers went up and said, "Now, let me understand. There's been some harm done, and how many people were killed? Was it 10 or 15 people were killed?
Pretty brilliant.
And I looked at him. I said, "No, was it 5 people killed? No, come on. There was it was one person killed, right? Oh, then there was 15 or 20 people injured." And I went. I mean, this person went down and said,
"Yeah."
It was 3 people injured.
Nobody was injured.
Oh, the incident was a drone dropped into the bed of a pickup truck.
That's one of them, yeah.
That's horrifying. We have to stop that.
Yeah.
Did you like when I jerked my knee out to the chief?
I did. I was concerned.
Yeah.
You shouldn't make
fast moves around a cop.
What is it? Furtive movements?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
he could have drawn down on me.
He could have.
Oh boy.
Yikes.
So it's just status making more laws and trying to solve a problem.
Unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary.
I love the Groucho Marx quote that I used.
That was good.
But government screws everything up. So.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty much that they search for a solution to a problem, and I've experienced that before.
Analyze it and then come up with the wrong solution.
It's not a problem. And everybody, I mean, if it was that big of a problem, it seems like you would have had 1 or 2 people that showed up to the meeting, the committee meeting before the council meeting, or to the council meeting to say, hey, this is a good ordinance and I like it because I want my children to be safe. Not one person. There was a representative from AMA. It's like the American Model Aircraft or Aeronautics. Aeronautics
mechanical
model
airplane or something like that.
It's model aircraft.
Yeah.
The AMA is a big organization.
Yes.
In fact, the FAA has kind of worked with them to draft some of their suggestions, right?
And what one person said is they said the FAA is supposed to be coming out with guidelines or laws
probably
and
the
rules
beginning of the year.
For private use, yeah. And why don't you at least wait to see what they say?
Right.
No, we got to do it now because, boy, we'll have to save one child. It's worth it if we save one.
But it
child's life.
won't.
But it won't because if somebody wants to violate this and it crashes, have all the laws in the world, right? Just like a no gun sign.
There haven't been any children harmed in the city.
Yeah.
As far as I know, there's been no damage done.
Right.
Right.
None. And so I said, well, how many complaints have you got? Oh, I've had lots of complaints. People come up and ask me if that was legal. I said, that's not really a complaint.
Yeah, it's not
that's
a
question.
complaint. Yeah.
I don't know.
It's horrible.
They just...
horrible. So,
they missed a lot of our points, too. They didn't want to listen to it.
It's an election year.
Are you running?
Well, it's a little early. Let's just focus on the issues that we have to deal with today.
Sure. Besides, you're on the list now.
Which list?
The city's list now.
Oh, I've been on the city's list.
You're unelectable now, buddy.
Yeah, I've been. Well, yeah, maybe it's possible.
All I do is get chief of police and the mayor to come out against you. Take out a radio ad,
Yeah, I could see that.
Nate is a bad guy.
I could see that happening. Well, I will.
His sister is a known thespian. I mean, she acts.
I think she was in choir or something.
Okay.
Somebody did call the city for something related to me, and
well, that was the sheep farmer.
They knew they knew my name without them telling my name, without the person calling saying who I was. It was kind of creepy.
Wait a minute. So somebody described an incident with you?
Yeah, I don't really remember what it. Yeah, kind of.
Before the person identified him as you? Mm-hmm. That is creepy. Mm-hmm. I don't know. What were you doing?
Don't worry about it. Sorry, Farmer McDonald.
I'm going to FOIA it.
No, it wasn't a bad thing, but that's fine. I think we were just something with the utility bill or something.
Oh.
I don't remember. Whatever.
Okay. The one with the anthrax in it?
No, come on. Don't.
Oh, really?
Wait, is anthrax still a thing?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think we're done worrying about that.
Yeah.
And SARS, we're done with that one, right? Ebola, we're pretty much done.
Smallpox.
Yeah. West Nile.
Yeah.
I think we're done.
Swine flu.
Yeah, swine flu. I think we're done with
bird
that one.
Bird flu.
Well, bird flu, yeah.
Elephantitis.
Yeah, H1N1, which is...
Bahi.
Bubonic plague.
That's still around.
We did have a case of the plague in Upper Michigan.
There's plagues out west all the time.
Yeah. Well, that's where I think it was a woman, had just come back.
They're in the fleas passing around.
Had the plague, and it's like, wow. No
did
choice.
they have the people with the long bird beaks?
No choice, but
in the hoods and stuff coming around doing dances.
Yes,
and stuff?
yes, they did. All right,
throw out your dead! Throw out your dead! With the dead cart as they're walking down the street.
They had no choice but to burn her.
Yeah. Would have been nice if they waited until she died, but all right.
So, okay. I don't know if you were waiting for a specific time to play this, but this is Lindsey Graham, and it cracks me up.
Well, look, I think we have to kind of preface it. This was
no, I don't think we do.
This was a counter.
I don't think we do.
All right, fine.
No, go ahead, preface it. It's too late.
No,
they're expecting a preface now.
No, you play it, and then if they have questions afterwards, we'll answer them.
Okay.
If I buy a gun on the internet, is it delivered to my home?
If you buy a gun on the internet?
I try to buy a gun on the internet. Where do I pick it up?
I assume it's shipped to you, but I don't know for sure, actually.
Okay, well, let's find out the answer to that.
That was the FBI director, by the way, that didn't know.
So, any questions?
I don't hear one. Steve, got anything? No, Steve said, give me the okay sign. Wow.
I don't know why.
I
don't know why it makes me laugh so much.
If I buy a gun on the internet, is it delivered to my home?
You just like that because it's got that home,
my home,
that homey style.
Yeah. Oh, good old
it's
unmarried
like a character
Lindsey Graham.
on the Family Guy or Cleveland show or something.
If I buy a gun on the internet, is it delivered to my home?
On the internet.
Does it get shipped to my address?
Where is that? Flaming Lane? I don't know.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I don't know. He's not married.
You went down. Yeah, well,
I went down that road.
Plenty of non-married men that don't like
that aren't gay. No, there aren't. There are none. If you're over 40 and you're not married, you're gay, right?
I don't think that's true at all.
Okay.
I don't think it's even close.
Okay.